Belly Conklin is often portrayed as the sweet and somewhat confused girl in The Summer I Turned Pretty, but her actions throughout the series reveal a pattern of toxic behavior. Instead of choosing a path of honesty and emotional clarity, Belly continuously finds herself entangled between two brothers, Conrad and Jeremiah, leading to a cycle of heartbreak, betrayal, and confusion. Her inability to make decisive choices doesn't just affect her, but also the two boys who love her deeply, turning what could have been a story of youthful discovery into a web of emotional damage. One of the most toxic elements of Belly's behavior is her tendency to hop from one brother to another whenever she feels unseen, unloved, or insecure. This lack of accountability creates a ripple effect, making both Conrad and Jeremiah question their worth, their relationship as siblings, and even their ability to trust love itself. Rather than taking the time to process her feelings, Belly allows herself to indulge in temporary validation from whichever brother seems most available at the moment. This cycle not only shows her immaturity but also reveals the selfish undertones of her choices. While Belly is written as a girl caught in the messiness of growing up, the truth is that she hurts the people closest to her through indecision and lack of emotional maturity. Her toxic behavior doesn't simply stem from confusion, it's rooted in a refusal to acknowledge the gravity of her choices and the harm they cause to two people who share a deep brotherly bond. 1. She seeks validation from both brothers. Belly constantly craves attention and validation, and instead of finding confidence within herself, she uses Conrad and Jeremiah as emotional crutches. When Conrad seems distant, she leans on Jeremiah, and when Jeremiah doesn't give her the spark she desires, she shifts back toward Conrad. This behavior is not only unfair but also manipulative, as she treats love like a source of reassurance rather than commitment. This constant need for validation damages her sense of self-worth even further. By leaning on others for affirmation, Belly never truly builds her own confidence, keeping herself trapped in a cycle of dependency. Instead of growing, she spirals into deeper confusion. The brothers, meanwhile, suffer because they are reduced to sources of comfort rather than being loved for who they are. Belly's actions turn their love into a competition, making them feel like pawns in her emotional game rather than individuals deserving of real, unwavering affection. 2. She creates competition between siblings. By allowing both Conrad and Jeremiah to believe they have a chance with her, Belly fosters rivalry between the brothers. This isn't just toxic, it's cruel, because it risks permanently damaging their sibling bond. Instead of respecting their brotherhood, she places her own desires above their lifelong relationship. The competition doesn't stop at romance, it spills into trust and communication. The brothers start questioning one another's intentions, which introduces jealousy and bitterness. Belly could have prevented this tension by being honest and decisive, but she thrives in the attention. This type of behavior reflects a selfish need to be the center of attention. Rather than appreciating the depth of love she receives, Belly indirectly pits the two people who should love each other unconditionally against one another, leaving scars that go beyond romance. 3. She is indecisive and immature. Belly's biggest flaw is her inability to make choices and stand by them. She constantly wavers between Conrad and Jeremiah, driven more by fleeting emotions than genuine commitment. This indecision doesn't just confuse her, it hurts everyone involved. Her immaturity is highlighted in how she runs from confrontation. Instead of owning up to her actions, she hides behind the excuse of being young or uncertain. Growth comes from making mistakes and learning from them, but Belly repeats the same toxic cycle without reflection. This immaturity prevents her from experiencing true love. Instead of building a deep, stable relationship, she chases after moments of excitement, mistaking butterflies for permanence and leaving heartbreak in her wake. 4. She romanticizes pain. Belly has a tendency to gravitate toward pain and drama, especially when it comes to Conrad. She romanticizes his distant and brooding nature, convincing herself that enduring his emotional unavailability is somehow proof of deeper love. This is toxic because it teaches her to associate love with suffering. By clinging to the pain, she creates unrealistic expectations of romance. Instead of valuing honesty, consistency, and kindness, she chases after heartbreak, believing it makes the relationship more meaningful. This only reinforces a cycle of toxic attachment. Her actions show that she prefers the emotional highs and lows over steady love. Jeremiah's reliability and openness should be valued, but Belly often overlooks them in favor of Conrad's complicated nature, making choices that create unnecessary hurt. 5. She disrespects emotional boundaries. Belly often crosses emotional boundaries by moving back and forth between the brothers, disregarding their feelings and mental well-being. Once she has been romantically involved with one, shifting her affection to the other only deepens the wound. Boundaries exist to protect relationships, especially among siblings. By ignoring these limits, Belly makes it harder for Conrad and Jeremiah to maintain trust, not just with her, but with each other. This type of emotional recklessness leaves lasting scars. Her disregard for boundaries reveals a lack of empathy. She seems more concerned about her own desires than the long-term effects on the people she claims to love, making her actions deeply toxic. 6. She confuses lust with love. Part of Belly's toxic pattern is her inability to distinguish between fleeting attraction and genuine love. She often confuses physical sparks or dramatic tension with true emotional connection. This keeps her in a cycle of chasing excitement instead of building real intimacy. When she feels the butterflies with Conrad, she assumes it means destiny, while Jeremiah's stable affection is brushed aside as less meaningful. This immaturity shows that she values thrill over commitment. By not understanding the difference, Belly ends up hurting both brothers. She makes promises she can't keep and creates expectations that eventually collapse, leaving behind broken trust and disappointment. 7. She plays the victim. Whenever her actions cause pain, Belly often positions herself as the victim of circumstance rather than the cause. She blames confusion, timing, or the complexity of love instead of acknowledging her role in creating chaos. This victim mentality is harmful because it excuses her toxic behavior. By framing herself as innocent, she avoids accountability, allowing the cycle to continue. The truth is, Belly has agency in her choices, and by refusing to take responsibility, she denies herself the chance to grow. Meanwhile, Conrad and Jeremiah carry the weight of her mistakes. 8. She ignores the consequences of her choices. Belly rarely considers how her decisions affect the brothers in the long term. To her, shifting affection feels like an innocent exploration, but for Conrad and Jeremiah, it creates deep emotional wounds that may take years to heal. The consequences go beyond romance; they touch on family trust, sibling bonds, and even self-esteem. By not considering these, Belly shows a lack of emotional awareness. Her choices reveal a short-sighted pursuit of feelings rather than meaningful relationships. Love requires responsibility, and Belly repeatedly proves unwilling to bear that weight. Belly's journey in the summer I turned pretty is often defended as the confusion of youth, but that excuse can only go so far. Love may be complicated, but the way she mishandles it shows a lack of respect for both herself and the brothers who love her. Her constant hopping between Conrad and Jeremiah is not a sign of innocence, it's a reflection of emotional immaturity and toxic decision-making. Her actions highlight a dangerous pattern, using others to fill emotional voids while disregarding the long-term consequences. Instead of fostering love, trust, and honesty, Belly thrives in a cycle of attention, validation, and drama, which leaves scars on everyone involved. This is not the hallmark of true love, it is the symptom of someone who has yet to understand what love really means. In the end, Belly's behavior is wrong because it takes advantage of people who deserve better. Conrad and Jeremiah, despite their flaws, give her their hearts, and in return, she leaves them broken. Until Belly learns to take accountability, respect boundaries, and distinguish lust from love, she will continue to spread hurt rather than find the deep, meaningful connection she claims to seek.